This might be a little cold.
And she gets a picture, right?
Yeah.
For her Insta.
Oh, is he the father?
Please.
Oh, well, I'm only really allowed one person.
Honey, I'm home.
Oh, shut up, you.
EastEnders star Shona McGarty revealed her unscripted tears in her final scenes. Meanwhile, Whitney faces a tough decision on whom to trust. In other soap news, Emmerdale's Belle is framed, EastEnders sees Nish's return, and Coronation Street plans a special week, promising high drama across all shows. EastEnders fans ask for her to stay. Icon is about to disappear. Fearing that Bianca Jackson may be leaving Walford once more, fans of EastEnders are pleading with her to remain in the BBC One soap opera indefinitely. Earlier this year, Patsy Palmer returned to her legendary role as Bianca when Whitney Dean, Shona McGarty, and Zach Hudson paid Bianca a visit in Milton Keynes. However, at the end of April, Bianca staged an incredible return to Walford, where she paid a visit to Whitney, who was expecting, and her half-sister Sonia Fowler. Fans of the BBC soap opera are aware that actress Shona McGarty is leaving the program, having played Whitney, who prompted her stepmother Bianca to come back to the show over 30 years after she initially appeared. However, many are now hopeful that Bianca stays in Walford once Whitney leaves. Shona McGarty, star of EastEnders, shares spontaneous emotions in the last scenes. Star of EastEnders Shona McGarty has shared the uncontrolled emotions she withheld during her last moments. After 16 years, McGarty announced in July 2023 that she was leaving the Whitney Dean role. This week's episode will be the character's last one. Whitney's departure occurs after earlier this week, when she and partner Zach Hudson welcomed their daughter Dolly. In addition, the soon-to-be parents have been organizing their wedding, which is about to go awry when Whitney learns that her fiancé-to-be had an affair with her friend Lauren Branning. McGarty told TV Times magazine that Whitney's last moments left her co-stars clearly moved, and the director chose to include those moments in the episode. Whitney had to cry during my final moment, of course. During the scene, Natalie Cassidy, who plays Sonia Fowler, gave me a hug and we both started crying. The director mentioned that Sonia would likely be offended, so they left that in, she remarked. The performer continued by sharing her thoughts on reading the scripts for her character's leave, noting, "I loved it when I read her exit storyline because it made sense. It serves to remind the viewer of her past experiences and identity. It makes me feel so nostalgic and made me cry. It brought back memories of my journey and how far I've come with Patsy Palmer, the actress who plays Bianca Jackson. It's stunning. Jacqueline and I were talking about the scene before we filmed it, and saying how iconic it felt," the actress said in reference to filming Whitney and Zach's iconic wedding scenes. "It seemed as if we were writing history, and for that I am grateful. Being in front of so many cast members made me feel a little uneasy, but as Whitney found out the truth, everything became silent. However, it had a vintage EastEnders vibe. Please subscribe our channel." Spoiler alert, Whitney has to choose who to trust on EastEnders. Whitney's revelation about Zach and Lauren shocks Whitney, but will she trust the child when she tells her? Later, when Penny and Lauren visit the Vic, Elaine and other bystanders give them nasty looks. When Bianca arrives to talk to Linda, she gets into a heated argument with her relatives. Although Junior and George are still at odds, the Knights like spending time with Junior's family. Junior agrees to stay behind when Elaine promises the family can move into the Vic. In another scene, after being instructed to move to number 31 since there isn't place for him at Alfie's, Freddie feels marginalized. After hearing remarks from her relatives about Kat and Alfie allegedly being an item, Kat chooses to move out of Alfie's place to allow Freddie to reclaim his place. Emmerdale's Belle framed, EastEnders back for Nish, and a memorable week for Coronation Street. May is always a busy month for soap operas, with plots neatly picking up steam right before the crucial British Soap Awards. Even though this year's event is regrettably postponed, our favorite shows are continuing tradition by airing some major stories. As the busy spring season continues, fans may enjoy some juicy spoilers and announcements that have dropped this week. If you've missed any news along the road, our weekly roundup is here to summarize the most significant details. Tom frames Belle from Emmerdale. Another unsettling development from Friday's visit to Emmerdale was Belle's manipulation into giving Tom another chance in their continuing domestic abuse plot. After Tom had been aggressive toward her once more, Belle had thought about breaking up with him, but he was able to win her over with fictitious promises that he would get therapy for his anger management problems. At the beginning of the week, new spoilers surfaced that exposed Tom's actual motivations. He does show up for a meeting early the following week with Liam, the local doctor, but he gives the impression that Belle is the one using coercive control in their union. A few days later, following yet another instance of unsettling mistreatment from the disgusting veterinarian, Belle throws Tom to the ground. Nevertheless, it appears likely that witnesses who saw the act may misidentify the aggressor in the circumstance. EastEnders villain Nish eventually had his comeuppance in February when his entire family turned against him, forcing him to leave Albert Square. Storytellers for the show still see a lot of mileage out of the character, which is understandable given how strongly he is connected to the drama surrounding the Six and Keanu's passing. According to the spoilers made public by the soap opera, Nish will be making a comeback on Monday, May 27th. He will bring a fresh surprise for his family, marking the beginning of a new chapter in the narrative. There will undoubtedly be more for the Walford schemer as Navin Chowdhury, who plays Nish, has teased really exciting ideas for his character that might take place over the next 6 months, back in February. Scheduled to air for 5 nights, Coronation Street. Fans of Coronation Street who haven't quite gotten used to the show's new hour-long schedules will be happy to hear this welcome reprieve. Later this month, for a single week only, the 30-minute installments of the show will return to its former 7:30 p.m. home. Corey's unique schedule runs concurrently with the live Britain's Got Talent semi-final performances, continuing the custom of the two well-liked programs airing simultaneously. Corey will air for 5 nights, starting on Monday, May 27th and ending on Friday, May 31st, for fans. This year, soap opera executives have been more silent than normal over what fans may anticipate from Corey's big week, but in the coming days, all the information will be revealed. We do know, though, that Roy's prison nightmare is getting worse at the same time as the crucial week arrives. The nasty villain Griff will return next week, as revealed by the show's executives, setting the stage for further drama in the jail. We believe that major soap opera anniversaries should be celebrated, so we were happy to learn that Emmerdale will hold a little celebration in honor of its 10,000th episode. The episode, which premieres on Wednesday, centers on a village fair and offers the ideal environment for some traditional community spirit and throwback vibes. Naturally, a significant plot point will also be included, as the day is interrupted by an enigmatic figure who chooses to hit and run Ethan. The 3 primary suspects in the mystery are Kane, Caleb, and Ruby. Pay special attention to them all as the plot develops over the next few episodes. Johnny Lady, star of EastEnders, appears in the 10,000th episode of Hollyoaks. Whether intentional or not, Jamie Lomas, star of Hollyoaks, released a picture of the cast mingling in the green room in between shots this week, which may have been an interesting casting leak. Johnny Lady, a former EastEnders star, was easily recognized by keen-eyed fans in the photo, revealing that he is presently filming for the show. In 2015 and 2016, Johnny performed as Paul Coker from Walford. We anticipate learning more about Johnny's position in the upcoming weeks. Unmasked in Coronation Street, Kit Green. If not for the awkward timing of his birthday, the secret that Corey newcomer Kit Green is actually Bernie's long-lost son may have carried on for months. According to episode spoilers for next week, Bernie sees Kit's fellow police officers celebrating his 31st birthday at the station. This reveals that her first guess regarding his identity was correct all along. Kit's actor, Jacob Roberts, who used to feature in Hollyoaks, talked extensively earlier this week about how his character will probably be misinterpreted in his early weeks on the cobbles. Will he ever allow Bernie to make her case? Who is the next villain on Neighbours? Neighbours has a tendency to feature at least one guest villain at any one time, so now that Cunning Chelsea has vanished and Strange Wade has been prosecuted, there is a vacancy. According to recently disclosed teasers, Dr. Gavin Bowman, who has been on screen in Hazza's Coma narrative, might be our next contender. Next week, when Gavin makes filthy remarks about Remy and her wife Cara at a business party, Carl will be concerned. Remy will be promoted the next week, so things should be going well at work, but may Gavin cause her any trouble? Please subscribe our channel.